afternoon everyone. I am Renu Sharma, Assistant Professor EC Department. Today I am going to start with the next lecture of this subject, that is data communication network, and today we will going to discuss that is the two most important well known topic, that is World Wide Web, because every time you are accessing anything from internet it requires www and HTTP. So, that is two important topic that is covered in this lecture. So, www means this is World Wide Web and HTTP is a protocol which its full form is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So, we will going to discuss each one in detail. So, in case of www, it is today is a distributed client server service. So, in my previous lecture I have discussed about client server model. So, in a network client and server will be there, that is going to client will going to access any device which is connected to the server, and server will going to provide that particular access to the client. So, in which a client using a browser can access a service using a server. So, however, the service provided in a distributed is distributed over many locations called sites. So, which means that I want to, let us say I want to access the AKtU site. So, what I have to written? I have to write www.aktu.ac.in. Then if I want to access any other site like www.google.com. So, you can see there is a difference in this syntax, the two extensions which are written after a particular name. Like this is used for the commercial purpose, this is commercial, which means google.com is a commercial, it is not related to education system, it is not related to any other particular organization, it is a commercial, it can use to access information, gather information. So, that is it comes with an extension, that is .com. Then .ac.in is another extension, that is related to a particular university or something. Then edu is also there, .edu.in. like akg.edu.in. So, these are the different, like it is related to the education institute, it may vary, but the important thing you have to note is that the extension of each of the website, these are known as websites, which is written over here sites, these are related to the website. So, the end part will be different and it is constituted in this particular diagram. So, this is www, that is World Wide Web introduction. If you want to access any site, then you have to write www at the initial as an initial command. Now, next is this diagram which is showing that how the request will be raised and how it will be acknowledged. Like there is a first site is there, this is site B, there will be n number of sites which are connected to a client. Now, client wants to access, client is nothing, client server means client will wants to access any application and server will going to provide that access to that application. So, client raises a request to access this particular site A, then the web page will be viewed and it will be delivered to this particular client. Secondly, the client will require raise a request to this site B and it will be delivered from this web page B and it will be delivered to the client. So, this is the procedure that how this client and server will going to work and how this www, that is web page, will be viewed to that particular client. Now, this is the browser. Browser means that you can see over here that this is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, this is first protocol, this is File Transfer Protocol FTP, this is Telnetwork, SMTP Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, which means there are n number of applications which are connected to this controller, means it shows that n number of applications you can access through this controller, which will act as an intermediate node, and this will be delivered, this will be accessed by this keyboard. Like I want to access, I want to transfer email, it will be transferred with this FTP, file transfer protocol. If I want to transfer a simple mail, I am not going to transfer, I do not want to transfer any multimedia data, then simple mail transfer protocol will be used. File transfer protocol, it incorporates the transfer of multimedia data, simple text language. So, whatever file I want to transfer, it comes under this FTP, that is a file transfer protocol. Now, interpreters are there are different interpreters which are connected, like first one will be the JavaScript, Java or HTML. Hypertext markup language. So, these are the different languages which will going to convert this particular data in the required language, that will act as an interpreter, and it will going to deliver to your monitor. From the monitor, the particular web page will be shown. So, this is the browser concept. Now, next is the web documents. The documents in www can be grouped into three broad categories, like first one is the static web document, then dynamic web document and active web document. So, web documents means whatever data you are accessing or whatever site you are seeing, it is divided in, it is characterized into different categories, which is known as documents, and if it is related to the internet, that is World Wide Web, then it is known as web document. Otherwise, simply it is known as a document, which is a information which is present in paper, but it is related to the internet, it is related to the website, then it is web document. Now, the category is based on the time at which the contents of the document are determined. So, it is basically whenever you are accessing any web page, you are accessing any web document, like I want to check the syllabus from the university AKtU, then I want to go to that particular website, I want to I have to select the academics, scroll down page, then there a syllabus it will be shown, and then I have to select the year, and then from that year I have to select that whether I want to check the syllabus of BTech or every different branch will be there. So, this is the procedure. There are different 4 to 5 web pages will be displayed, and then I will going to download the syllabus. So, that is how the different web documents will be there. So, at the time when I want to access a particular web page, then it is characterized using static web document, dynamic or the active web document. So, then this will be the client and this will be the server. Client will going to request the particular web page, and then the static HTML document will be delivered to this client. So, any time you want to access, it will be delivered over here. Now, this is the another diagram which is showing that this text has to be bold faced. So, whenever any website is designed, it requires the proper programming, like if let us say google.com is designed. So, if you know that on every occasion, on every festival, you can say the Google the Google icon will be changed, means or any person's anniversary or something, then the particular Google icon will be changed, it will be updated. So, that comes under the programming part. So, whenever a new website will be launched, then programming is required, means whatever header will be there, it is of some specific format, of some specific length will be there, it will be bold, it will be of different color, it will be having different frame, it will having different formats like Times New Roman, Times. So, this all comes under the programming. Whatever you are going to decide, it will be displayed as a web page. Like this will be the bold tag, means the letter which is written, the text which is written in this, if it is written in between this bold tag, which means that let us say I am going to write this hello, and this will act as a end of, this will act as a end of bold data. Now, this will be, so what will be the output of this particular syntax? This will be the output of this syntax, means this hello, whatever you are going to write, it may be a sentence also, it may be a single word also, it may be a character also. So, it will be displayed as a bold. You can change its color, you can change its format, and you can also change its size also, what are the number of characters you want to describe. So, you have to see that it should begin with B and it should end with slash B, which means end of this line. So, this is the syntax of designing a web page. Now, next will be the hypertext transfer protocol. Now, HTTP comes with this web www only, because any particular website will be written like www.https, if I am not wrong, then particular website will be there and then .com. So, hypertext transfer protocol is required with the www. Then it is a protocol used mainly to access the data on the World Wide Web. HTTP functions as a combination of FTP and SMTP. FTP is file transfer protocol, which means if you want to access any multimedia file, any text file, it comes under this FTP. And if you only want to access the data that is not a multimedia data, then it comes under the simple mail transfer protocol. So, this is a very simple diagram which is showing that request will be raised from client to server and the data will be transferred from this server to client. So, this is request and raise operation. So, means request will be transmitted and it will be accessed by this response with this response. So, this is a HTTP introduction. Now, this diagram is showing that how the two messages looks like request message will be transferred from client to server and the response will be transferred from server to client. So, in this case request, you can see that there will be a request line, a header will be there, then a blank line will be there, which means that there is a difference or there is a sense of gap which will be inserted between the header and the main body of the information. Like you can see that body present only in some messages. So, every time it is not required that you are adding the data in the body, you are just adding the header information and then it will going to, because it is a request message, it is not always required to transfer the particular data that is covered under this one. Now, in the response one, you can see that there is a status line, other things will be same. There is a request line will be there, there is a status line. Now, this is act as an acknowledgement. It can be a positive acknowledgement, it can be a negative acknowledgement, because every time if you want to access any device or any web page, it is not possible that there will be an error will be there, because there will be error due to the some internet issue or any other issue will be there to because some of the websites goes under technical upgradation. So, during that period you cannot access any web page from that particular website, any page from that website. So, that comes under this status line. So, every time you are not going to access the same web page. So, then header will be there, a blank line will be there which will be inserted between this header and body, and then body will be there, that will act as a present only in some messages. So, you can see that both the information which is shown by this color, this will be present only in some messages, because you are just transferring any command, 2-3 line command will be there and you are not transferring any required data, well explained data. Now, the how you are going to transfer the data, or how the request will be raised, what will be the syntax of requesting a raising a request. Now, this is the request line, this is the status line, you can see in the previous diagram, which is this is request line, how you are going to insert the data in this one, and this is the status line. Now, you can see in the request line, the request type will be shown in this one, that whether it is a data signal request, whether it is a control signal request, whatever request you are going to raise, it is connected or it is been inserted in this request type. Then there will be a URL, whatever URL you want to access. Then uniform resource locator, URL full form is uniform resource locator. So, whatever resource you want to access, you are inserting in this URL, then space will be inserted, and then there will be an HTTP version, that is hypertext transfer protocol version will be inserted over here. Now, next one is the status line. Now, you can see in this status line that there will be a reverse part of this one, HTTP version will be written first, you can see, then there will be a space, status code will be there, whether it is a positive acknowledgement, whether it is a negative acknowledgement, or whatever data you are inserting. So, there will be a status code will be there, space, and then there will be a status phrase. So, which means that the data will be inserted in this phrase format. So, these are the two criteria you can see that how the data will be inserted in this format, in the request line and in the status line, means in the request message and in the response message. Now, we use the get method. This is an example which will going to explain more about HTTP and www. So, we use the get method, that is GET method, to retrieve an image with the path. This is the path, means the image name is image1, this is bin and this is user. So, the request line shows the method GET, the URL and the HTTP version 1.1. The header has two lines that show that client can accept the image in GIF or JPEG format. So, these are the two formats, graphical interface that is GIF, then JPEG. These are the two formats. There are more formats for images also, like TIF is there, JPG is there, GIF is there, PNG is there. Then these are the different formats, 4 to 5 formats are there which you can use for image. So, the request does not have any body. The request message contains the status line and 4 lines of header will be there. The header lines define the date, server, MIME version and the length of the document. The body of the document follows the header. So, this is how you have to design the request and response message. So, this is the diagram related to the previous example. Now, you can see that there is a client, there is a server, this is a request GET method and this is a response method. Now, in this case you can see that this is a get message, which means I want to get an information, I want to access a image which is having this path, that is user /bin /image1 and HTTP version is 1.1. It will going to accept two formats like GIF and JPEG. If in the numerical it is not present that whatever which format you want to access, then it is no requirement, there is no requirement to write these two lines, you can access it, it will going to accept any of the image format. Then there will be a response, like this is the HTTP 1.1 version, then there will be a date which is shown over here, GMT time. Server will be there, then MIME version which is also mentioned in the numerical, then there is a content length, that is act as a header information, and then body of the document. So, this is how you can see that request and response, this is how you have to write the two methods, two messages, that is request and response, depending on the data which is being mentioned in the numerical. Now, next numerical is the client wants to send the data to the server, which means it is a request kind of message. In the first line you can see that there will be a request kind of message will be there. Now, we use the post method. So, previously we have used get and now we want a post method. So, the request line shows the method post, URL HTTP version 1.1 same. Then there are 4 lines of header will be there. The request body contains the input information, the response message contains the status line and the 4 lines of header will be there. So, this also first shows the request line is there, which consists of, this is how you have to frame the request and the status line. Response line, request consists of a post, it consists of URL, then it consists of HTTP version 1.1. Then response consists of 4 lines of header, So, you have to write the character, number of characters. Then request body contains the input information, the response message contains the status line, and 4 lines of header will be there. That created document, which is a CGI document, is included as a body. So, this will be the CGI document which will act as a body of this response line. Now, this is the diagram which is been explained in this one. This is the client, this one is the server. The request is being shown like this is the post method we are using, we are not using the get method, it is already mentioned in the numerical only. So, in post there will be a CGI bin, then document.pl and HTTP version 1.1 is mentioned in the post. Then it has to accept 2 files, like I have written this star by star, which means any of the image and any of the what you will call extension is acceptable, like images have TIF, it is JPEG, then JPG will be there, and there will be GIF, also there is a PNG. So, these are some of the formats, mostly these are used. 5 formats are there in which any image will be described. So, here we are accepting any image name, and any star means any one of the format will be acceptable. Also, I have written that GIF and JPG is acceptable. Then 4 lines of header will be there. So, the content length will be 50 and this will be the input information. Now, in case of this response one, there will be HTTP version 1.1 is used, and this is the date which is mentioned over here. Server will be mentioned, this is MIME version. This is content length and this is the body of the document. So, this is request and response method which has been related to the previous example. So, in this one we have discussed about how the web page has to be designed. So, I want to add some more information in this one, that how the web page has to be written. Like if I am writing this command like response line, which means this particular data has to be bold and this has to be written as it is. So, which means this has to be bold, you are not going to convert this small character into capital 1, and then line will be written as it is. So, this is how whatever you are going to insert the data inside this boxes like B, then this is known as end of this bold point, then you have to write this response and line. If you want to change the color of this one, like from red to blue, then normally it is black. If you want to change the color, then you have to write the color also. Like red color, if you are going to add the star, like any star information means you want to type the star, then it will be shown in star format also. So, this is how you have to write the web pages. You want to access any web page, you want to design any website, then these are the simple mail. So, what is the language you are using to design any web page? That is known as the hypertext markup language, that is HTML. Now, you have seen this HTML whenever you are going to access any page, you are going to download any information, it is written over here that whether you want in the text form or you want to the data in the HTML format. So, in case of this HTML format, the data which will be shown, it is in the coded form, you can download it. HTML document is also present of every website, of every web page, you can download it and you can see that what is the command to write to design that particular web page. Like this is a web page Okay, this will be the header, two headers are there, there will be a logo of that particular document or a particular university will be there, then there will be different drop boxes will be there, then some images will be inserted, then what color of the background will be used, then there will be a drop down box will be there, then inside this drop down box there will be some information. So, this is how a web page, this is a single web page. So, behind this single web page there are different information which has to be incorporated. So, which requires different commands which is written in HTML language, that is hypertext markup language. So, in this lecture we have discussed about www, that is World Wide Web, and also we have discussed about HTTP. These both are directly related to internet. Whenever you want to access any site, you want to access any web page. So, these are the two references that you can consider for this topic. Thank you.